Green onions are awesome. They grow pretty much anywhere in any weather. Even weather like this. Ugh, I really don't feel like planting green onions outside today. So instead, let's take this show inside and see if we can grow green onions from seed to harvest all indoors, any time of the year. And it starts right now. Brrr. Green onions planted outdoors at least 6 to 8 weeks before your first fall frost will likely give you a full autumn crop. And on top of that, provide more bounty next year as a perennial spring herb, even in temperate regions. That's pretty hard to beat. But today, we're going to assume that outdoors is out of the question, and we're going to turn our focus to growing the most epic green onions indoors. And it all starts with the seeds. Green onions are readily started from the cut root ends of already harvested onions, and I have several videos on how to do that already. But for this video, let's go further back from that and grow our green onions right from the humble seed. Green onion seeds are collected when the flower heads dry out and expose the relatively large black seeds contained in those attractive umbels. If you missed out on collecting the seeds this year, or you're just starting out your green onion operation now, the seeds are very inexpensive and they're readily available pretty much all year round. With our green onion seeds in check, let's talk about pots and soil. Green onions are very shallow rooted and thus very undemanding of pot size. Coupled with the fact that one of the names that they're commonly referred to is bunching onions, don't dwell on the pot size selection too long. I'm going to go with a typical 1 gallon nursery pot for this video. In terms of depth, it's probably overkill for green onions. And, if you wanted to save soil and you wanted to save money, I would suggest with going something a little more shallow. Or, you could build your own, mini wood planter boxes. Really, these guys are so undemanding with what they grow in. Just get creative with it. For your soil, green onions do best in a well-drained mixture, but yet retains moisture. Because their roots are so shallow, they lack the ability to go very deep to hunt for water. So you're gonna want a sandy loam type mixture with a high organic content. What this usually means is a typical commercial potting or container mix with about 10% sand added. I make my own soils to avoid having to buy the commercial mixes, but as long as you have a quality organic soil that drains well, is pH neutral, and has no salt or boron buildup, you're gonna do fantastic. So now that we've talked about pots and soil, let's go ahead inside and plant our seeds. Planting green onion seeds is super easy. I start by filling up my pot all the way to the top with that aforementioned soil mixture that we talked about. I then compress that down about 20% and soak my pot from below for about 2 hours. Onion seeds, green onions in particular, are very sensitive to drying out, resulting in poor germination or worse, spindly shoots. So let's go ahead and make sure that our pot is good and soaked so that we don't run into these problems. Pre-soaking your soil from below is super easy, and it ensures that your soil takes up all the water that it can possibly hold. At the same time, it doesn't wash the nutrients out the bottom like watering from above would. Look how fast that soil gobbles up the water. Perfect. With our soil nice and wet, go ahead and spread the seeds around right on top. Try to space them about 1 inch apart, but we can easily thin them later, so don't stress too hard about this part. Cover them up with about 1 inch of that same soil mixture and set them aside where the ambient temperature is at least 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Germination takes roughly a week at these temperatures, and when the shoots reach about 2 to 3 inches tall, you can go ahead and thin the pot if need be. Keep the pot lightly watered And if you have a fairly light mulch, you can go ahead and use that too to control the evaporation. It'll take about 2 to 3 months for the green onion plants to mature and be ready for harvest. However, when you harvest the shoots from the outside, leaving the younger inner ones to grow and keep producing, you're going to ensure that you have an ever-ready supply of green onions from the same pot for seasons to come. Green onions are relatively free of pests, so if you start with a clean, quality organic potting mixture, you could conceivably grow green onions indoors exclusively, pretty much trouble-free. For those who are space challenged, green onions' miniature cousin, chives, are just as easy to grow and can be done using the same methods that we discussed today, albeit on a smaller scale. Green onions are one of my all-time favorite crops, coupled with the fact that they don't take up hardly any space and they can be grown indoors pretty much any time of the year. It just makes me want to grow them that much more. Hey, if you guys have any other scallion growing tips, make sure to share it in the comments down below. Also, if any of you are on Facebook, head on over and join our gardening group called Growing Better. The group has grown phenomenally fast, yet it will never lose its sense of community or its welcoming feel. If you're passionate about growing epic organic fruits, herbs, and veggies for you and your family, the Growing Better group is a great place to hang out, share, learn, and grow. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. If you're getting value in this and the other series that I'm doing on YouTube, hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons if you'd be so kind, and I'll see you in the next video.